Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Manchester United versus Everton at Old Trafford. Early kickoff on Saturday. Old Trafford is always it's always a traditionally hard place to go, Ned. You'll have only ever seen Everton win once at Old Trafford in your lifetime.
There's been some good games. Obviously, the one in 2030. We were there first, weren't we? Oviedo scored the winner. Yeah. Obviously, we had a good result there last year, only because we were 2-0 down.
And we scored in the last minute, and it felt like a win.
That's true. And 4-4 in 2012, that was a memorable one. So
yeah,
there's been a few good games.
We've had draws and stuff in the last few years. We were 1-0 up, and I think under Koeman, and we ended up getting a draw. They got a last minute penalty. We've had a few draws there. Traditionally, growing up, it was always for me. You'd go there and you'd never get anything. You'd play well and never get anything, or you'd be in a good run and you'd get bounced all over the place.
They were the team you'd try and go and impress, wouldn't you? They
were, but at the moment it's not necessarily the case, but still makes it a difficult game, of course.
Well, I still think they're a team to beat. They're a team that feels with the likes of City and Liverpool and Chelsea miles ahead of the rest. But out of those teams, you feel like they're the most. You can still nick like Villa did. You can still nick a win. But I reckon they'll because of their manager. I still think they'll be looking now thinking they've got a squad that can win the league. But so imagine if they had a world-class manager, and obviously Ali needs to prove that he deserves to have the squad. It deserves to have the job, sorry.
Before we go on, it's week 7 of Ultimate Fan. £8,500 to be won. I've got packs to open. Let's get into my packs open really quick. L. Gordon, never heard of you. A. Barnes, never heard of you. T-Men Guy, never heard of you. Never using those cards, ever. My gold pack, Jamie Vardy. I've already got Jamie Vardy, so I will have to sub him out. Eric Dyer, I don't think he's making me team. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So over to my team. Let's have a little look at it. Walker, Robinson, Salah. Salah got me loads of points. Is there anyone on the bench? Stones, Dean, Allen, Foden. I'm going to put Foden in for Tielemans. I'm going to make sure I'm going to put Jamie Vardy as my captain. So if you want to play, it is free. You get a free pack, 3 cards every single week. But if you want to really try and compete, there's 2 subscription packs. Silver, $2.99. You get 3 silver cards. You get exclusive content. You get £3 off Uber Eats as well. So it's paying for itself. Simple as that. Gold is $4.99. You get a $5 off Uber Eats. So it's paying for itself as well. And at the moment, there's an exclusive offer with the Personal Barber Shaving Club. You get 50% off their first discovery pack, which is a £40 worth of products you are getting for £12.50. There's a safety razor, there's shaving brush, there's soap, there's 10 replacement blades as well as other things. You will get £40 gift set for £12.50. So make sure you check that out. The link is in the description. Play along with us. Share your team with us as well every single week. We absolutely love playing it. You keep an eye on it over the weekend. It's brilliant. The link is in the description if you want to play that. Listen, they've lost a couple of the games domestically recently.
Yeah.
At home. You mentioned the Villa game, the West Ham game as well. They've started the season very unconvincingly, Man United. Very, very unconvincingly. You've just, you mentioned there prior about Manchester City, Liverpool and Chelsea. Those 3 teams do feel like they've got something really special about them. Like they've created an aura of invincibility around them. I don't think it's necessarily the same with Manchester United. I think they're trying to, and the signing of Ronaldo is that kind of step where beforehand you looked at them and the thing about teams in the Premier League is it is that thing of like they look human, and then suddenly they get a few signings in and suddenly you go against them. And City got that, of course, like I said. Chelsea, I think, go champions of Europe, getting Lukaku. And Liverpool have, when you think about playing Liverpool and you think of like Salah and Mane and all the good players they've created that aura of invincibility. Just the way Klopp talks, the way Pep talks, even Tuchel talks. But Manchester United, I don't think quite have that. And you just mentioned like Solskjaer. I think part of that is down to Solskjaer. He doesn't come across as a fella that massively convinces fans of the opposition. And I don't know if he convinces his own fans. And I always think that gives you that, like, as an opposition fan, I don't know what you feel, but I look at them and think he's their weak part, and as long as he's there, it's weird because what happened was when Sir Alex Ferguson went, they were like derobed. It wasn't necessarily that they didn't have good players. It was because people started going to Old Trafford. There was the fear factor had gone, and the fear factor has never come back to Manchester United. And that's not to say they're a good team. It's just that people used to fear going there, and that beat them before they got there. And that's what I'm saying. Those other three teams have got a bit of that now. But I feel like Manchester United haven't got that back. And that is the thing where you go, that's the thing in the last few years that's helped us go there and feel like we could get a result. If we'd gone there last season and it's Alex Ferguson and you're 2-0 down, most likely you just think, shut up shop, we'll get away with this at 2-0, like you would against some other teams. But last year we never, and that, I mean, I know with the 4-4 slightly different, that was coming towards the end.
Yeah.
But I think that's the difference with this. I think now you look at this game and go, I think if we were going to Stamford Bridge on Saturday, a lot of people would be like, no chance.
But I think if Lampard was manager at Chelsea right now, it was the sort of manager where you think he's not got the experience and the tactical nuance.
No, you're absolutely right though, and that's the difference when he was in charge, and that's why they went to Tuchel, is because of that. But I still feel like that's still there with Solskjaer. I don't think he's earned the respect of other people yet to go and have a fear factor, and I think that they've got an amazing team. Don't get me wrong. They've got some great players. They haven't quite put it together this season properly. Don't get me wrong, they've won games, but they've not looked convincing in a lot of the games. But I do think like the Ronaldo signing is to try and get that of like, oh, we're going to Old Trafford, oh, they've got Ronaldo. That to me is like you are trying to create that fear factor that they used to have.
But he's Ollie's match winner, isn't he, really? If that Villa, it's one of those tough games where a good manager would bring his star player on, or have a player to bring on, or you'd have Ronaldo on the pitch to try and win the game. And I don't think Ollie's got the experience to unlock a team that's gone to Old Trafford and stayed tight and compact. And maybe that's the difference between win the league and not win the league as a manager. I think Varane for me is the signing of the season for them. I think leadership, experience, and quality at the back. I think they're number 6 short of winning the league, to be honest. With a better manager. I'm not convinced.
I think they're more than a number 6 away from winning the league. I think they are. I think I'd take your point. They're a number 6 away from really competing for the league, like really being
at least closing the gap,
like being really on the tails. Whereas like Chelsea were a centre forward away and they went and got a centre forward. Liverpool are. I still think Liverpool might be the best team
it's their squad
for
though,
11,
yeah.
but the squad it's the depth of the squad. But Manchester United, I think you can pick holes in all of it. On the day, they've got a great team, and it'll be interesting. So let's have a look at the team they played with last week. So go on, Ned, you can go through that team because your eyes are younger.
So the back four, Maguire and Varane, who's had a decent start. Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Fred, McTominay, Greenwood, Fernandes, Pogba, and Ronaldo. Interesting that how Sancho started the season, I think. Obviously, how much did they spend on him? 80 million, something stupid like that.
Yeah, it was always going to be take time. He's never played in the Premier League. And it was always going to take time. And he's, to be fair, signing Ronaldo will allow him time to bed in.
He took the pressure off him,
massively took the pressure on. But I look at that team there, and the back four, that's a really good back four, I think.
Defensively solid.
I think it was Maguire I've always liked. I don't think Baz has always liked them, but I've always liked them because I do think that when they haven't got him, that they are weak. Varane's an excellent signing, and once that bed's in, but as you just said there, Fred and McTominay. Fred's a good player, but
he's very inconsistent.
But McTominay,
they're not going to win you. They're good Premier League players. Fred's not had a good start of the season, but they're never going to win you really. When you look at the midfield, and I mean two holding midfielders, and then you look at Rodri at City and Fernandinho, and then you look Kante and Jorginho at Chelsea, and Fabinho and Henderson at Liverpool. There's a big drop.
No, there is a big drop off, and that's and of course Pogba will come in there and do a job. Pogba's a fantastic player. We all know he's a fantastic player when he wants to be. You know, he's an incredible player. For me, it's about how you put it all together. Listen, Bruno Fernandes is just an absolute incredible footballer. Obviously, we've seen his penalty last week.
Landed in
Manchester. Landed in Manchester. I wonder how much his nose is going to be put out of joint by Ronaldo. And I don't mean that from a personal level. I don't mean that from taking penalties or taking free kicks. I just mean about his role in the team. Because he occupies that number 10 role brilliantly. They're going to have to come up with a way of playing that suits both of those players. And don't get me wrong, Ronaldo's now a traditional number 9, but I just wonder how many of those spaces he'll take up. Because one thing I noticed in the summer, how ineffective Bruno Fernandes was for Portugal. He was really, and I just wonder where you don't want to lose that player for Manchester United. You've got to find a way of putting it all together.
Well, they've got to get the link up between them two, right? But then again, they've got Jesse Lingard's been coming on it. Well, he's come on into 2 games and changed the game. He's pretty good against West Ham.
Yeah. And of course, Mason Greenwood started the season brilliantly. Got Marcus Rashford to come back. And listen, no one's disputing they're a really good football inside. No one's disputing. And of course, their away record's unbelievable in the Premier League. You know, what is it, a season and a bit since they got beat away from home? They are a really good side. I just feel like Everton, we've got to go there on Saturday and we've got to have just a little bit of of course, defensively, Benitez going to Old Trafford will be interested. Defensively, we've got to be spot on. Allen and Decore are going to have to work the socks off. Townsend, we're going to play on the counter-attack. And really you go back to the Villa game and you think about how we played that game. And that, it does send a few shivers up the spine when you think about the squad and you think about what they had, what Villa did when they brought in a couple of subs, and that's going to be, for me, going to be a huge factor. Everton have got to be a threat on the counter-attack, though. They've just got to be. They can't, you know, if we get opportunities, we've got to be making them think. You're not going to score a goal every time you go forward, but we've got to make them think. We've got to make them think that we can score every time. We can do something, and that means keeping hold of the ball well. And that means also, listen, at the moment it would seem that Rondon will be starting the game, and that's me sitting here on a Wednesday and saying that. Rondon has got to be effective. He's got to hold the ball up, because if he doesn't, it's just going to keep coming back all the time. And the game plan will be, a large amount of it will be about how much he can keep hold of the ball for us. And I know a lot of Everton fans haven't been overwhelmed with him so far, but there are reasons for that, playing a couple of games in 5 months. But this is a game where he really has to play his part.
Well, I think his link up with Gray and Townsend for me, because we know United's going to have a lot of the ball, so we're trying to stretch the pitch and get up the pitch quickly can. I think Gray's going to be our out ball, and like you said, Rondon trying to keep up with the ball. But I think it's the first game on paper of the season that is an expected loss. And going there with half a squad, we didn't look like scoring at all against Villa. We had a couple of chances in the first half. So I think for us, we've seen Villa manage to just try and keep a clean sheet. If you can't win, just don't. I think a point will be especially with the squad we've got, be a massive.
No, with the squad we've got, the point to be, even if we had our full team, a point you wouldn't be at all. It keeps us ticking over.
Yeah.
But it's also about but you only get a point a lot of the time by your tactics to win the game.
And Ollie versus Rafa, I think whether Ollie's got the tactical experience to try and break down a tight, compact side that we know Rafa can put out. But he's got Ronaldo and Fernandes.
The problem is, though, he's got Ronaldo and he's got all those players we've mentioned.
Fernandes, who can unlock.
We haven't got. You know, we've seen the goal by Fernandes last season, the one he chipped over Olsen. We just haven't got the players, and when it comes to turning around and looking at your bench, and that's going to be interesting this week. I'll be interested to see actually in this game how much more how much more he will trust his bench and maybe look around and go, oh, I might give Anthony Gordon 20 minutes here because I feel like tactically. Because I thought last weekend, the home game, I think a lot of people thought this is like his discipline. Even just the foul he got the yellow card for, bringing someone down, like, you know, in their half, miles away from our goal. Smart. Say that all the time, just do that.
Slow the game down.
Slow the game down, make them, you know, get everyone back, get you through the last 5 minutes. Let's see if Anthony Gordon is starting to switch on to it. Because I think under Carlo Ancelotti clearly, you could see him in games shouting him, get back in your position. Penny might have dropped now. There's a chance for you. The squad's, it's on its arse.
Well, I think Townsend make a difference because last season, if there's any games we can, most of our goals come from inside the 6-yard box or inside the box. I think the difference now is if you can't unlock their defence and you're struggling to make many chances. Yeah. Townsend, and we've seen it already, Townsend can pick the ball up from 30-odd yards out and just get it in for you. Yeah. And that might be a difference.
I think one place we've got to certainly improve is we've got to start improving on set pieces. We haven't scored from a set piece this season, and obviously we were undone by one of Villa, and Burnley scored essentially from a set piece that come back in.
And they weren't great at
We've got to get back to having some kind of presence on set pieces. It was always going to be difficult. I quite liked how we defended set pieces under Carlo Ancelotti. I like the two banks, the deep. And I know he's changed it this season to zonal. Yeah. Always like zonal. And that can be difficult for some players to manage, and that can be people switch off and a good ball in. And listen, we've seen that now teams are starting to use set piece coaches and stuff like that. I have no problem with that. I think that's, to be honest, set pieces are a huge part of the game.
It's working well for Villa, isn't it?
They got one last week. Yeah, they got one last week. If you've got a fella who works on them all week and is changing them and that's his only job, I think that's the way football's going, and I think that's the way football should be. None of this snobbery that we saw from other people about set pieces. It's a really important part of the job, and all this stuff about when you have throwing coaches and people laughing, it's nonsense. Anything you can gain on the training pitch, any advantage that you can gain on the training pitch, even if you just make someone think, what are these going to... People now for Villa are going to be like, what are these going to do?
Well, we saw that with Rafa. Rafa analysed it as well. I don't know whether his coaches did it, but we saw the short corners at Burnley. I know we took one. Did we take one at Norwich last week, or a couple of players went short?
I think it's
But there's a few at Burnley, but maybe it's you need to...
It's the invention, though, isn't it? It's the invention. It's like you look at Villa's set pieces.
Villa's was very well planned
but they're always changing it, and they're always doing something a little bit different, something a little bit clever. That might be something that Everton needs to start thinking about in the future.
It was like something from Coach Carter.
But I'd like to start seeing them just start defending them properly and be a threat at the other end.
Well, they've got threats on the corners.
Of course, they have Maguire.
Varane's a big lad. And Ronaldo, who can leap higher than anyone else.
Let's just look at Ronaldo's numbers, because obviously he's their main man. Games, 3 goals, 3 assists. No, I mean, that's interesting that he hasn't had any assists, but obviously, listen, he's there.
He's become a... How he's changed his game over his career is incredible, and now he's a big target man.
He's a very intelligent footballer. Some people think he's the best player of all time. Those people are wrong, but they are allowed their viewpoint, because he is, for a generation, he has been absolutely incredible, an incredible footballer, and
still rapid at the age of 30.
Do you know what though? And people are always still surprised about this though, how good he is in the air. And I don't know why, because he is incredible. He has always been like that. I remember when he scored the goal I think it was in the FA Cup final against Millwall, many years ago, and he just hung in the air. And he's been brilliant, always been brilliant. So he brought that into the game now. I think Seamus Coleman's still having nightmares about the goals he scored against them for Ireland.
How do you think we nullify Ronaldo on the weekend?
You can't nullify Ronaldo.
Do you think we put Godfrey back in centre back, or is it going to be Mina and
No,
Keane
because
again?
we haven't got it. Unless, no, I think you can't nullify him. But like, I think what you have to do is you have to nullify the chances, the balls that come in, and haven't been great at that recently either. You've got to stop the ball at the source. You've got to get out to people, and that's where Godfrey at right back. See, I don't really like Godfrey at right back.
He wasn't great against Williams.
I don't think he's a right back, and I don't think he ever will be a right back. I think Mason Holgate's more of a right back. I think what you've got to do, what he might do, is just say to Ben Godfrey every time they get the ball wide, you've just got to get out and stop it. But you can't necessarily stop Ronaldo. I mean, I think Michael Keane's probably if the ball's in the air, it's going to be better, or Yeri more importantly. So it's going to be better dealing with the ball in the air. But you've got to stop it at source. But these have got so many good players that it's so hard. That's why good teams are good teams, is because they have so many good players that you say, can you nullify Ronaldo? Well, if Pogba's playing, how do you nullify Pogba? How do you nullify
Fernandes? And
exactly, Bruno Fernandes is probably still their most important player. So you got to nullify him. You nullify Ronaldo, then you've got. That's the problem with good teams. You have a lot of good players, and
I think Mina for me is important in this one because the amount of aerial duels he'll win.
Mina's just important because he organises the back line.
He won more aerial duels in the whole match week when we played Burnley, didn't he? Yeah. So.
No, because he organises the back line, so he's an incredibly important player. This is going to be a very difficult game. As you said before, it's probably the first game of the season. People will have an expected loss against us.
Especially with the team out.
But doesn't mean we can't go there and do something. It doesn't mean we can't go there and if we play in a certain way. We've got a good tactical manager who understands the game. And listen, who knows? Maybe there's a couple of surprises. Who's to say Seamus Coleman won't be available? Or I don't know. Sitting here right now, who knows? We're playing off the fact that but it's the last game before the international break, so we do get a couple of weeks after this game.
Get the lads back in.
Get the lads back in, and then so whatever happens. I am definitely not throwing this game away. I am definitely not suggesting that we are going to lose this game. If we can get anything out of it, massive bonus, I think. Because obviously we went there last season and we did, but everyone's going to have to work hard. Everyone's going to have to do their part. Probably a touch of luck as well.
If they're a better team on the day and they beat us through quality, then
there you go.
Fine,
can't argue with that. There you go. Big thanks. Big thanks for Ned for stepping in this week, coming from behind the camera to in front of the camera. Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to sign up if you haven't already. Why haven't you signed up to Ultimate Fans? It's dead easy. It's free. If you want to play for free, it's a boss little game. Honestly, great. I love playing every week now.
I packed Raheem Sterling.
Brilliant.
He didn't play, but
I got so many points. I was sitting here giddy last week watching the points tally up. It was amazing.
I won a free pack from being so good at it.
There you go. Do that for us. There's a link in the description. It costs nothing if you want to play for nothing. There are 2 subscription ways of playing as well, silver packs and gold packs as well, as I said earlier. So go and check that out. Sign up. Just do us a favour. Sign up for it. Even if you don't play it, just sign up for it. Helps the channel, honestly. Helps the channel. There's always nice incentives as well. This month there's a £5 free for Uber Eats. So effectively, you sign up this month for a gold pack. You're getting it back. You're getting that money back. So do that for us. The link is in the description. It'll be on the screen as well. Give this video a like, subscribe. And if you want more daily live shows, exclusive live shows, join us over on Patreon. The link is in the description as well. Thanks for watching. See you later.